This
Declaring an array,
conference will now be recorded.
while declaring an array, I have specified some size, number of rows or number of columns, whatever. Question: can we extend the size of an array during runtime? Cannot. How to give the space between two objectives? Just you put a space here. The question from one of the students: how to put a space? Plus, plus is a concatenation operator, right? Give a white space here. Now this is your output. We are getting a space. Okay. Well, there is a question from one of the student. Really, very good question. Really, very good question. How to find the length of the columns in a two-dimensional array? Here, I am selecting a statement here. You tell me what actually it is. You ping me your answer. What actually it is? I selected a statement. What actually this statement will do? It prints or the array name dot length, find the number of rows in the array, two-dimensional array. Here, just for temporarily, I am commenting this part of the code, printing the data. There are 3 rows of data available in this two-dimensional array. If you want to find the number of rows, okay, just I am attaching a small string, number of rows, array name dot length will give you number of rows in the two-dimensional array. Array name dot length. The question from one of the student here, good question. How to find the number of columns in an array? See, each row has same number of columns, correct? Each row has same number of columns here. So what I will do, I'll access a particular row. The array name student data, 0th row, either 0 or 1 or 2, whatever you want, you can give. You have to specify a particular row number, then use a length, because number of columns may vary from row to row. I'm giving the length. How many columns are available in the 0th row? 2 columns are available. Let me run this code. Here just I'm attaching a string, number of rows at first row, 0th row. First row here for us, it is first row. Where? Okay. I have to use a plus operator. Array name dot length returns number of rows in the two-dimensional array. We are accessing the 0th row, its length. Number of columns in the 0th row. Number of columns in the 0th row are 2 here. Let us run this code. Number of rows at first row are 2. Supposing I commented this line. I'm using 1 here. Okay, there are 2 rows, but there is no data. When you try to access the data, you don't get the data. So here I explain how to count the number of columns in a particular row. I hope you understood this. So you people will not see the questions raised by the other audience. Here, the admin organizer only can view what are the questions posted by the students. Who posted this question? One of the students posted the question. Who posted this question? I am seeing only the mobile number here. Okay, Swati. Well, I hope your question is answered here. Right. Now, if I want to access the entire data through a loop, here I'm giving, supposing here we have only 2 columns. If there are many columns, instead of giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what we can do? You are understanding my question? I want to access the entire data. As of now, I have only 2 columns. I given 0 and 1 here. Access the data present in the 0th column and access the data present in the first column of each row. If there are n number of columns, instead of giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can have one more loop created here. How? I'm creating one more for loop inside. Now, first, you please confirm you are understanding what I'm trying to teach. This 2-dimensional array has only 2 number of columns, 2 columns. So, 0th row, 0th column, 0th row, first column. If I have n number of columns, 0th row, second column, 0th row, ith row, second column, ith row, third column, ith row, fourth column that I have to give. Instead, I can have one more loop inside, inner loop inside, to repeat on the columns. This is for repeating the rows. I want to repeat the columns inside the row, each and every row. I'll go for one more for loop. Int, I start with 0 because I have to start from 0th column. J less than, just now I have explained how to get the number of columns. Student data of, I'll take say a particular row, for example, 0th row or ith row dot length, then J++. And here, student data I, J. If I want to print a white space, I can give a white space here. There's a mistake in the name of the array. Well, number of rows are 3. Number of rows at first row are 2. I mean, just here I am printing only the number of rows at the first row. And then by constructing a loop, we are able to access the entire data. and this is your output here. Okay, I can use print, otherwise the entire data will be printed. If you want to print in a table format, we can use some /t option, something. Leave it here. First, we are understanding how to access the data present in a two-dimensional array. I hope you clear about this code. Please do confirm so that I'll go with my next topic. The first for loop, I loop, to repeat the rows, because there are multiple rows available in the two-dimensional array. The inner for loop, the J loop, to repeat number of columns of each and every row present in the two-dimensional array. Got it? So all these programs just to improve our Java programming logic. Well, now let me go with Java collection frameworks. There is array list, linked list. They are called actually the collections. Here we can grow the size of a array during runtime if you go with the collections, like array list or linked list, whatever it may be. And also there are many other predefined features, ready-made functions available for the array list. Let's see here. Can we rename an array? Sorry. Can we rename a Java class? Yes, we can. Here, I'm giving a name to my class, demo array list. Previously, the name of the class is arrays demo. Now I am changing here to demo array list. Rename compilation unit. We'll change the name here also. Or if you want to change from the Project Explorer, right click. We have an option called refactor. Any artifact you can rename like this. A class or a package, anything you can rename like this. You can change the name. Demo array list 1. For example, I'm giving one, just one, whatever. Finish. Now the class name was modified. Well, now here, you do observe there is a class in Java, array list. Array list is one of the Java collection framework which has some extended facilities. We can increase the size of an array during runtime, and there are many other predefined functions readily available for the array list. How to define an array list? You need to mention here what kind of data you want to store into this array list. You have to mention what kind of data we are going to store into the array list. So here, what kind of data you are storing into array list? Supposing I want to store a string. I'm mentioning here string. Just a minute. Int or char or double, whatever the data type you want to go, you can go for that. Array list, string. So here, I can give the name of the array list. For example, courses equal to new array list. And here, what kind of data it is? String. Then, what is the name of the array list here? Courses. Here courses is an object for reference of the array list class. If you want to add some data, if you want to add some items into the array list, we have a method here, add method. We can add the data. Supposing I'm adding some data like this, selenium. Courses dot add, say Java. Courses dot add. See, observe the difference between the array and array list. Array is a different concept. Array list is a different concept. Array list is one of the Java class. These class provide a method add to store the data into the array list. Supposing here, testing something. So here first I'm explaining you declaring an array here. This is how we can declare any array. Declaring a array list. And how to add items into the array. Add is a method used to add the data into the array. Okay. Now, I want to count the number of items. Number of elements or items, whatever it may be. There, if you want to count the number of elements in an array, not in array list, not in an array list, in an array, what is the mechanism? Array name dot length, correct? Array name dot length. But it is a array list. If you want to count the number of elements in an array list, name of the array list. What is the name of the array list here? Courses dot. There is a method size. You please read the description here, size. It returns number of elements in the list. A list is one of the Java collection framework. It returns number of elements in the list. The return type is an integer. As the return type is an integer, the return value I am keeping in a temporary variable. For example, item count. Let me print this item count. So this kind of concept we are going to use when we start developing some Selenium programs. Supposing in a page I have some links available in a page. 10 links or 20 links available in a page. I do not know how many links are available. I'll make Selenium to capture all links present in a page into a Java list. This array list. Now I want to count number of links present in a page. This is a mechanism. Right. Now you please observe here, we are getting the count here, 3, because there are 3 items here. Well, now how to access an item? Here we are counting number of items. Here now I want to access item. How to access an item? In array, just we are specifying the row number or column number to access the data present in array. But here, there is a ready-made mechanism available. The name of the array list dot. There is a method called get. You please read the description here. It returns. I'm selecting it to try to read it. It returns the element at the specified position in the list. It returns the element data present in the specified position in the list. And here you have to specify the index, which item you want to access. Return type is a string because this array list is of type string. This array list is of type string. Get, I'm giving the index, for example, 0. It accesses the first string, first element available in the array list. Now in the same way, this I'm printing directly. I want to access the next element, courses dot get 1. I want to access the next element, courses dot get true. So here I explain how to declare an array list. It is a list here. How to declare a list, how to add items into the list through coding, how to count the number of items available in a list, array list name dot size, how to access the elements present in a list. Now let us run this code. You please observe the output. Your code first counting number of items and displaying. Here I am accessing the data present in the array list. You just a minute, you go through the code and confirm so that I'll continue further. You go through the code and confirm me so that I'll continue further. At first here, I declared an array list. Then I have added some items into the array list. Then in order to add an item to an array list, there is a method called add method. If you want to count the number of items present in array list, there is a method called size method. See, if it is an array, I go with length. As it is a list, we have to use size. Any list, if you want to count the number of items present in a list, we have to use size method. If you want to access the data present in an array list, we have to use get method. I hope you understood this one. Right. Now, instead of doing like this, the same I want to do with the looping. And everybody, yes, in array list, there is a question. Any data type we can use it. Well, here you tell me the code. You post the code here. I want to access the entire data present in this array through looping, for loop. Yes. You ping me your answer via chat box. Only the loop code I am asking. Yes. Here create a loop to access the entire data present in the list. And ping me your answer in the chat box. Here, in this statement, array list declaration, array list, what kind of data you want to store here, the reference of the array list. New is a Java keyword. It reserves a memory to store the data. In the memory, what kind of data you want to store? A array list of type strings. That is the statement. It allocates a new memory. It reserves a memory to store array list. This object will be created so that with the reference of the object, we can work out here. Right here, I'm constructing a loop here for int I equal to 0. Then I less than, what is the array list name here? Courses dot size. Earlier we have used length. Now I am using size. Then I plus plus. Now here, the name of the array list, courses. To access the data present in this array list, I am using get method. Its index I am using. So what kind of data available in this array list? String. and the data present in this array list is a string, definitely this return type is a string. So whatever the data we are accessing from the list, I'm storing in a variable of type string because this is returning finally a string. This data I'm printing here. Let me run this code. You got it? Please confirm till this point understood so that I'll go with the next topic. Next topic within the array list only. Well, here I said you can create a array list to store any kind of data. To store any kind of data, not just the string. Right. I'll explain that. How to create a list of different data types I'll explain. And here we have another mechanism. The same thing I can do in another way. How? Just a minute. Here I'm creating a array list to store string values. Name of my array list, for example, this courses equal to even directly also you can assign. Okay, before I proceed with that, in the previous code, let us see the previous code. This is the previous code I have created. While defining an array list, did I mention anywhere how many values I'm going to store? While defining this array list, did I mention how many values I'm going to store into this array list? No. But what about an array? What about an array? Clearly in the yesterday definition itself, I clearly mentioned array is of fixed size. Array used to store fixed number of elements of same data type. An array is used to store fixed number of elements, 10, 20 of same data type. But whereas here, list is a dynamic. Hence, you no need to mention the size while creating it. While creating an array list, you no need to mention the size. Based on the number of values you are going to assign, automatically the size gets extended. It allocates the memory dynamically during runtime. Array allocates the memory during design time, whereas list allocates the memory during runtime. Okay. Now, let's see the other way of doing it. The same thing, let me do it in another way. The other way meaning I'm explaining, trying to explain about, the other data type, sorry. Array list to show some integers. So for example, marks. Sorry. Here actually integer is a class. here integer is a class. We can see that. We will see that. Okay, what's the previous program I explained? Just a minute. Here, okay. We are adding an item. We are counting the number of items, and cosearch dot, and I have an option here to remove an item. Remove. I want to remove the data available at a particular position, at 0th position. I removed here. Now, let us run this code. The size is 3, but the data present in the array list was removed here. This is remove item present in a list. Friends, I recommend for all of you people, in many programs we are going to use this list concept. Better, quickly note down this. Quickly note down somewhere in the notebook. Working with list, array list. Declaring an array, adding items into the array, counting number of items in the array, removing an item from an array, accessing items from the array. Quickly note down this. In many of the Selenium test cases, we are going to use these methods and concepts. So better, matter of 2 minutes, you note down this code. Okay, finish. Right.